So, I thought I'd take a couple minutes and just walk around my shop and point out some of the cool things I have going on. As you can see, it's a huge mess because I just got a new machine the other day and had to move everything out of the way. So this is my main shop. This is my garage. It's about 480 square feet, and I do all my machining and, hot work and all that stuff out here. I do like cleaning, sanding, and buffing in the basement. So I probably have total about 600 square foot, and in that space I have 5 lathes, a seam roller. I'll have my new draw bench finished soon. I have all the cool stuff. So yeah, this is where, under all these scrap bins here, this is where I anneal. This is like a table I made out of fire brick. It's really handy. There's my super sketchy winch power draw bench. Believe it or not, you can draw bells on there. It's super scary. This is the first machine I ever bought. It's a Haig spinning lathe. This spun Harmon mutes for, I think, most of its life. It's a great machine, and there's my horn flare mandrels on it. I got all these different mandrels I got from different places here. And I'm so sorry, it's a huge mess, but that's just how it is. So, and over here, I have some cancel bells. These are Garland. These aluminum bits here. These are Garland mandrels. So you got like a 5-inch trumpet, 8.5-inch horn, or trombone, and that's an 11.25-inch mandrel. It's unfinished. I just spun one out real quick on it. All types of ball-up dies for different shapes. You can see that. Bells in progress that I have. Just stock them so I can finish them out pretty easily. But yeah, this lathe is awesome. It spins all the bells I need. And so now this is my seam roller. Let me get you a good shot of it. This is one of my probably top, favorite machine in the shop. I got this from Getson. I met Adam Getson, and I was just there up visiting, and I was like, yeah, I need a seam roller, because I was going to build one, basically an attachment for my draw bench. And he said, hey, we got one in the barn, I could probably sell it to you. And of course, I was up there the next week with the trailer picking it up. And this thing's awesome. It's motor and has a gear reducer, and it just moves back and forth on the linear ways under the roller. For butt seams, which is what I usually do, it puts them down, rolls them flat in one anneal, so it's the perfect machine for what I do. And it, you can fit the horn through it if you fold your pattern right. But right now it's become another place for me to pile my stuff. I don't use it every day, but when I do, I use it all day long. Here's my Cincinnati. This is a Hydra Shift. Also has a bunch of crap on it. This is my workhorse lathe. I do everything from cut ferrules on this to I made horn bell mandrels on it. It's, in my opinion, the nicest machine you can buy for all-around work. Weighs about 3,500 pounds. You can see there, I have a 12-inch four-jaw for it, which is ridiculous, but it spins, and I can spin 14 3/4 of an inch over the ways, which is insane for a 13-inch swing lathe. I think it's like 12.5, or I think it's 13 over the apron, but 9 over the cross side, which is really good. Yeah, I love this lathe so much. It's just such a nice machine. And behind that, I actually have another spinning lathe that's not currently in use. I got this one from Schilke, actually. They threw it out on the curb. It had a sign that said it works, and I live about a half an hour away, so I just drove over there real quick, and me and my friend lifted it into his truck. So if anyone's looking for a spinning lathe, you can't have it for free, but give you a good deal on it. Yeah, all of my little bits and bops. This is a valve drilling fixture for piston valves. I'm using that on a job coming up for BAC. This is my milling machine. I love this machine's awesome. It's currently set up for making Vienna pistons, the casing housing. It's a really nice machine. I didn't want a Bridgeport, but I like the Bridgeport style machines. Bridgeports are around, well, if you're gonna get a nice Bridgeport, it's gonna be $5,000, and you can get them cheaper. But I just wanted a machine that was in really good shape. And this machine is basically the ultimate Bridgeport because it's I think it's 3 horsepower. Gear, you know, quick speed change head. It has the drilling. I have a 2. Or actually, I have to replace the X-axis DRO, but other than that, it's in tip-top shape. It feels like a brand new machine. Got a really good deal on that. This over here, let's do over here. So these are my flat files. I just use these for storage. I store sheet metal and all kinds of things in there. It's super handy. I have all these tubes. So I bought out a lot of the raw material that came out of the Cancel factory when they closed. So I have tubes for days. Here's what I'm working on now. This is a Shedaway, like kind of Viennese style horn, but instead of having the pumpkins, it has rotors. So I'm doing a copy of it, and this is where it is so far. This side's all good. I just need to trim it to the final length and get it a slide made so I can solder it in. The middle just needs a slide made because these are knuckles integral instead of what they did here, which is ferrule, which I think is kind of silly. But this side actually bent this tube wrong. This is a balled out part. This tube I need to refill and kind of move it over. It's a little, let me get the crook, a little too wide of a stance. Well, it's not in, but yeah, it's a little too wide. So I just need to take that and bend it a bit and straighten it out. It should be able to work. Otherwise, let's make a new part. This is my hard-hinge second operation lathe. I got this from a repair guy. Well, he used to be in Chicago, Jim Langenberg. He had it in his garage for years. Super nice guy. Too bad I didn't, get to meet him that much before he moved. But yeah, I got to set this up, and this will be my ferrule machine. It's gonna be really, really nice. He gave me a really good deal on it. This is where I braze bells. I use a propane and compressed air torch. It's really, really burns really hot and lets the braze flow really well. Here's some pretty cool horns that James Hampson has in for repair. That's a Queenon piston horn. That's a Anton Damal Vienna horn, which is what I'm semi-copying. I'm copying the one that Damal copied. And this is the coolest horn ever built in the history of the world. That's an old super double French horn. So that's just so cool. Oh, I'm basing my double horn off of that once I get around to it. But as you can see, it's a huge mess. I'm out of space here. I'm currently building a shop, but it's taking forever, and I keep getting more machines. There's my circle shear, crappy little bandsaw. Circle shear is really nice. This yellow frame used to be an English wheel. I'm turning it into essentially like a air hammer for hammering out bells, so I don't have to do the initial work by hand. That'll make it a lot better. And the creme de la creme, there's more horns up here. I just got too much crap. This is my newest addition. This is a hardened super precision CNC lathe. Let me try to get a good shot of it. It is literally my dream machine. So it's a Omniturn conversion, and it did a really good job. I don't have the control, so I'm gonna be swapping it over to Mach 3 temporarily, just so I can get used to it. A lot of really cool features on this. It's a super precision, which made me really, really happy. I'm not exactly sure the differences, but I'm pretty sure they're different. I mean, even if it was normal, it'd be fine. But it's so beautiful to look and see. It says super precision. And I've already put on the safety stickers that AVE recommends. But yeah, it's CNC, so the control goes up here. I'm just gonna put a Mach 3 and a little PC up here, and that'll get me by as I'm learning. So basically the way these work is, it's a 5C machine. It does have a hydraulic drawbar, so I'm gonna be able to set that up for M code functions, so I can get a bar puller and set it up for automation. I'll do that eventually. For now, this is the controls for opening and closing while I'm doing chucking work. It's a really, really cool machine. So, yeah, instead of a turning center, it had like instead of what turning centers have, like a turret, it has a gang block. Well, it has a plate and you put a gang block on it. So basically, you just bolt all your tools, not in tool holders like this, but just you bolt them, and that's what this piece of steel is going to be for. I'm going to have to. I think the way I'm going to do it is get the T-nuts and get this bolted to here, and then I'm going to. This is ground, so I should be able to orient it, on the Y pretty good. So I'm just going to put a drill and reamer in the spindle and then drill out my holes on the block while it's mounted there. I think that's the best way to get the center height wrong, but I mean, I could always machine it to be perfect anyways. I mean, that's not a huge deal. But yeah, you mount your tools up like this one would actually have a holder that comes out here and holds it, so you do your turning that way. And you can put twist drills and center drills and reamers. I'm going to do like ER20 holders or ER32 holders depending on the size, so that way I can keep consistent gauge lengths. And I'm also going to do the micro 100 stuff, so I should be able to, I think if I'm understanding the system properly, I'll be able to swap out tools and use the same centerline offsets and all that. So we'll see how that goes. I do like carbide tooling. I don't like the insert tooling that much because I do mostly brass and bronze and nickel silver, but I love the brazed carbide and solid carbide tooling, and it's super cheap. The brazed carbide is. The solid carbide is, I mean, if you're using inserts, it's gonna end up being similar pricing for the small stuff, which I use. So, and I already have tons of it, and it's gonna be so nice having this machine set up. It has the VFD, it has the PLC, it has everything but the control box. So I think I should be able to swap it over pretty easily. But yeah, that's pretty much it out here. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, people don't quite understand what I do. It's my full-time job. This is what I do. I can make from start to finish French horn in this workshop, even a trumpet. I do rotor trumpets, but even if I can make pistons now, but yeah, so this is all it takes. It doesn't take a CNC lathe, I should say that. Before I got this, if you look on my channel, I have videos of me doing it on manual, and the reality is, it's still going to be a lot of manual work for me. All the milling operations are still going to happen on here, and I like to think that it's not going to be any more precise. My valves aren't going to fit any better when they're made on here. They're just going to be more repeatable, and batch to batch, I should be able to keep consistent tolerances. It's actually really cool. This machine came from a Swiss machining shop in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, right by Getson, actually. And they were using this one as a second op chucker lathe, and that's what these are usually used for. You can put bar feeders and bar pullers. And, I mean, the guy said that they were holding 3/10 tolerance on medical, plastic parts. That's the other thing. There's some aluminum chips, some steel chips, but they said that for, the 15 years they've had it, it ran 90% plastic. It ran a little bit of fiberglass, but not in the last couple of years. And they also replaced the linear rails and ball screws, I think they said every 3 months or something. It's insane. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to maybe every year or something. They're not that expensive. It depends on how much I'm running it. But what I do love to see is, let's get a little light. They have the proper grease on their rails, and the ball screws. So that's good to see. It's a really well kept machine. It ran oil, and I'm gonna run oil not all the time. I'm gonna do oil, and then I'm gonna put another nozzle. I'm gonna do an air blast. For some of the stuff I do, that would be fine. And I thought this is actually really cool. It has a plunger that goes inside the spindle and has some O-rings, and it looks like it's coming off the line that goes to the oil coolant nozzle. So I'm actually curious what the intent is. This, from what it looks like, will fill the spindle with machine oil, not machine oil, cutting oil, and also the spindle looks brand new. Like my friend Andrew and I were like looking at that, like, oh my god, that's like a brand new spindle. But I think it pumps the spindle full of oil. I don't know. Does anyone know? Is that like to? I doubt that's to eject the part if you're doing chucking work, because I don't know. They weren't automating on here. They were just doing second op stuff. So, which is mostly what I'll be doing. But maybe it's a thermal thing to get the spindle, but it's not. It doesn't have an enclosure, so I don't know if they were controlling thermal that well. But if they were hitting 3/10, as a tolerance, I mean, could be. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. But the only reason I have this machine is because I got a crazy good deal on it. And it's because it's missing the control, but I'm not really fazed by that. This is an Omniturn conversion. This is in the nicest condition of one I've ever seen. The place took care of it, but these machines in bad condition that ran coolant their whole life, cutting steel, go for, I mean, they're on eBay for $8,000, between 5 and 8. And I told the guy selling it, he got it from his place of work and didn't want it. He just flipped it, and that's cool with me. I got it for $3,000, and it's gonna take me about $500 to get it running. Tooling it up is gonna be some money, but not. I mean, I'm gonna be in under 5,000 for sure, with the Mach 3 setup. The Omniturn wants, I think it was like $4,000 for a new control box, which would be plug and play, but people don't pay enough money for horns for me to drop that right now. If I were setting up to make medical parts, you could do that with one job, but I'm not. At least right now, that's not my business. But yeah, I'm like super happy about this. I got it yesterday, and I literally sat out here on a stool staring at it and drooling. It's a beautiful, beautiful machine. So, well, quit jabbering. But yeah, that's just what I got going on around here. Pretty cool. Lots of cool stuff. These are the Vienna valves. So these are just tubes inside of tubes, and then you cut it out and hone it out. I made these in here from raw mill tube. It's pretty amazing what you can do with simple machines.